The mutated ant, dude. Frogs and wasps over here, dude. Love you a lot. I can prove it.
Oh my god, that cookie was so good.
That's what we're brought. Cause they're huge.
Hot girls in the kitchen sitting on your food. That's how that sandwich got pressed too. What's up, Weirdo Shade Tree Surgeon here, and behind me I have 3 dirt bikes, ranging inside from a measly 100 cc's all the way up to 300 cc's. Every single one of them's a 2-stroke, although only 2 of them are street legal. More on that later. But the one thing they all have in common is not a single one of them actually runs and rides. So today's episode, among other things, we're gonna take every single one of these lawn ornaments and turn it into a running dirt bike. Or, you know, at least we're gonna try our best. But before we do that, something that is nowhere near as good off-road, even though it is technically supposed to go off-road, you gotta get Shay Lisi's Trail 125 back on the road. I am done with bikes that don't run. Yep, that'll ruin your day. One done. Well, you can go see that on the Shay Lisi channel. Now let's get a little bit dirtier. I don't think there's any bike I've ever owned that has brought me more joy than this KTM, which is even more of a shame that I haven't been riding it. Not because I don't want to, it's literally because I haven't had time to. That just sounds like a lame excuse when you start to say it over and over and over again. It's time I made time. What I keep doing is not riding my KTM because it feels like I'm taking too much time for myself when I go out and ride it. It does take an hour to get out there, an hour to get back, and a few hours of riding, intensive maintenance, and I just feel like I haven't been able to take that time for myself, or that I shouldn't take that time for myself, and that is over. After all, if you can't make yourself happy, what's the point? Now, there's no reason this thing shouldn't just fire right up. I had the gas off and it's only been sitting for a couple of months, but I want to go ahead and do some maintenance on it before I kick it over because I want it to be ready to go, not just run. I'll be honest, I even miss doing maintenance on this bike. There was just something about doing the maintenance on this motorcycle that brought me so much joy that just really felt good, man. Not something I ever hated doing, it's something I enjoyed doing, and sometimes you get yourself in the mode or the mood where you feel like you're not allowed to do the things you enjoy, or at least the things you enjoy that take a lot of time. Yeah, that needs to be cleaned pretty badly. Now, there are a lot of people out there who will tell you that washing your foam air filter off your dirt bike in gasoline will eventually destroy it. It'll just kind of eat away the glue that holds it together at the seams. And you know what? They're right. It will eventually eat away the air filter and cause the seams to fail. But I do it anyway because it's cheap. Well, seeing as this is a 2-stroke, you don't have to change the oil often, but you do have to do it every once in a while. They don't take a whole lot of oil. It's just for the crank and the clutch, and that's it. Pretty crazy this oil's been in there for that long, and it still is pretty clean. Of course, it's a 2-stroke, so it makes sense. Nowhere near as hard on this lubricating oil down here as a 4-stroke would be. Now, there's no dipstick on this engine. They do it old school. You just put oil in until oil comes out of that hole. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get a couple ring-a-dings out of this thing. All right. Well, I thought I wasn't gonna have to clean the carb, but let's go ahead and pull it off of there. Luckily, just like everything else on this bike, it comes off pretty easy. Just gonna take a peek at the spark plug before I pull the carb, see what's going on there. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this thing. Now, do I have one of these here? BR7ES. Oh, of course I don't have a BR7ES, but what I do have is a Trail 125 with a new chain and a new rear tire. So even though I don't have my spark plug, at least I got my fun parts truck back. Let's go for a ride. That starts up a little bit easier. Hell yeah, brother. we're back. Not that I think that a bad spark plug was my only issue, because it was running beforehand, but that's certainly not hoping matters any. Alright, these are pretty damn simple carburetors. Before I do anything else, clean off the outside of it. Ain't gonna do me any good if I clean the carburetor and the outside's so damn dirty, I freaking just end up getting shit in it just from it existing. I mean, it is in the name, it's a dirt bike. So it's not that weird that this is pretty dirty. Crack it open and look at all its little secrets. What are you hiding in there? Oh, there's a little varnish in there, it's not bad though. All it takes is for one jet to be clogged though. Looks clear. Well, we'll clean it out anyway. Single strand of wire. Physically ascertain that they are completely clear. Yeah. Thank you, nurse. Yeah, it's more like it. I actually prefer commandant. You know, doctor will do. I'll also accept admiral or sensei.
I do prefer sensei.
Ever since we got 2 boats, I can be sensei or admiral. Because we have a fleet now.
Only in Shade Tree's garage, guys.
The mutated ant, dude.
He even has an antenna that's like... Oh my god. Do you believe this?
I do. Maybe I should put fresh gas in this. You know, it's probably not a bad idea to just put some new gas in it. Fresh gas never hurt anything. All right, now let's see if it starts. Back in action, baby. I need to be back in action. This is the most expensive workout machine in the world. Maybe not in the world, but...
the sweat.
Oh, wait, dude. Wait till you go out and freaking ride in the sand. You have no idea. One down. We officially have one less motorcycle that's not running and one more motorcycle that is. Now, on to Shaylee's KX. Time for the KX 100, and we're gonna have to pull the carburetor and rebuild it, but Shaylee's gonna do it. Hold it on this side. You want to see it go out these sides. It's not. The way we're going to clear that inside out is with air, compressed air. Got some new fuel hose on there. That old one was looking kind of rough. If it pivots, I don't mind using this Motul off-road chain lube on it. I use it on everything from, this kickstand right here to clutch and brake master cylinders and pretty much everything in between, even stuff that ain't on bikes. I love this stuff. And since I was up, I should probably throw some fresh oil in this thing too. Now on this guy, they don't give you a dipstick, they don't give you a weep hole, they don't give you a sight glass. It is really, really old school. They just stamp into the engine case 0.7 liters. Hey, I guess you always know how much it takes. Since I have it up on the lift and I'm looking around at this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and be a little proactive on some of these as well. Just regular use with your boot will wear this off. I don't know if this is painted or powder coated, but I'm just gonna take this off and blast it with a little black spray paint and just keep it from rusting. Knock that rust off with a wire brush. See how long this stuff lasts. Probably not super long, but oh well. Makes me feel a little bit better to actually do something rather than nothing. Maybe a little bit of clear coat will keep it from actually rubbing off instantaneously. Or maybe it won't. At least I tried. Second kick. This dirt bike's done, this dirt bike's done. Let's do one more dirt bike before we move on to something with a tag. The legendary KDX 220R. California quiet. The KDX 220R, or the KDX 200, had a reputation of being the very best a play bike ever got. I actually think a few bikes probably held that reputation, but definitely the KDX was one of them. Now, when I say play bike, that doesn't mean a play bike can't be a great dirt bike. It just usually means that they aren't like race ready. The KDX 200 and 220, guys have taken those on hard enduros forever. A lot of guys in the FTR who do hair scrambles swear by them. People love them. It's a cult classic. And I inherited this one from somebody who kind of didn't know what they had and thought that they were going to get into dirt biking and then decided it wasn't for them. I'm going to take it as a huge win though, because KDXs are freaking amazing. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this motorcycle because I'm not really interested in riding it that much. I like my KTM, it's set up perfectly for me. But what I do know is I'm not going to let it sit around not running any longer. Now, hopefully all I have to do to get it to run is clean the carburetor, put some fresh gas in it. But this bike definitely needs a few things that its previous owner was going to do and never did. So along with getting this thing to make a few ring-a-dings, we're also going to go ahead and make a list of what it needs. Well, I don't know who left the gas on when they stored it, but this is why I have to pull the carb. It might have been me. It might have been me.
Someone has been in my room and taken my beers away from my room.
I don't think so, darling. Who would do that? Who could possibly do that? Who's the beer thief? You're the beer thief.
I mean, I say it might have been. It was probably me. KDXs really are probably the cheapest way to get into a good enduro bike with a little bit of work. Obviously, it's not an enduro bike right out of the gate, but with the right parts, this thing is a pretty freaking awesome weapon. Although all my YZ250 boys will definitely swear that that's the best bike to convert to an enduro bike. And I would say the YZ250 is probably a newer one, probably a better bike than this, but I doubt you're gonna find one as cheap as the KDX. Yuck. Corn gas. Oh yeah, dude. Even this slide is gummed up with varnish. This KDX needs to drink some water. That is not healthy. I'm about to restain my deck with this. I don't have a deck, but if I did, maybe I could restain it with this. Yeah, that's gross. If you're pissing that, you have got big problems, baby. And if that's the color of what's coming out of your carburetor, you also have problems. Thankfully, not very big ones. Hopefully not anyway. We're about to find out. There's only a few rubber parts in these carburetors, so I'm hoping that they're not too messed up or too gummed up to save. When it comes to these kinds of carburetors, there's really nothing to go bad on them. Everything can pretty much just be cleaned, except for, you know, this O-ring right here, the plunger for the floats, and I think one of these jets might have an O-ring on it too. It looks like our float needle in there is moving pretty free, but I'm gonna pull it out and take a peek at it anyway. Yeah, showing zero light through that jet, unsurprisingly. Also unsurprisingly, zero light through this guy either. Let's see what kind of shape this float needle's in. Honestly, the rubber on this still feels nice and soft. I'm gonna run it. Oh, cool. That cleared right up. Yeah, that one cleared right out too. Nice. That sounds a lot better. Get in your home. There we go. Hell yeah. Honestly, this fuel line is also pretty soft, so I'm not going to replace it either. Oh, what I am going to do is get rid of that gas though before I put that back on. That would have been a dumb mistake. I have some gross gas in that can right there, baby. While I'm waiting for that to drain, I'm going to take a look at probably the second most neglected thing on a two-stroke after the engine oil. Might me as well, and that's the coolant. Howdy. Yeah. In the radiator is the last place you want to be, buddy. I promise you. Freaking amazing. Not only does it have fluid in it, but it looks pretty damn clean too. Well, wonders never cease. Huh. Would you look at that? Fluid looks great. Well, at least we saved a frog. Well, saved a frog, and we're putting on way cooler graphics. It came with these other plastics that look way better than the ones that were on there. I love the old school fonts that the dirt bikes used to use. Oh, god damn it. Got frogs and wasps over here, dude.
Watch for wasps, because they'll sting you, and then you look like me.
Actually, I think he's the same frog. Dude, you can't live here. Sorry, you and the wasps are getting evicted. The frog we set free. The wasps, oh, they're getting the brake clean treatment. Sorry, guys. I'd say it's got just a little slack at the chain. Just a little. Yeah, I think it's time for a new chain. That side-to-side action is pretty freaking brutal, dude. Well, put it on the list. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and adjust it so I can test ride it though. But still, that side-to-side is still enough to freaking hit the goddamn tire. That is rough. That'll do for a test ride. But it makes all these broken knobbies on the tire make a lot more sense. Well, I know the person I inherited this from changed the oil and cleaned the air filter, so let's throw some fresh gas in this thing and see if we got liftoff. Damn! What's in the box?
I have in this box, sire, my black handles for the Duke. Look at my...
What'd you say it does? It holds your boobs up?
Yeah, it holds my boobs up.
I don't need no bra to do that. I'm fucking right here.
Why do I wear a bra? Because they're huge!
Dude, it's too much. I don't allow it, actually. I forbid it, dude.
Don't allow it.
Yeah, I forbid it.
Give me your hand.
Ow! So I only thought it was fitting to have Cami Bay come over and do the first test ride, because we got it running, but do the first test ride on the KX100, because if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that the first KX100 on the channel belonged to Cami Bay.
Oh. Okay, ADD mind. I want to make this into an earring.
I need that. That's my carb tool.
No, can you give me a different one? Did you just see my ADHD glitch? I didn't know what to do.
No,
I was
it
like,
literally just glitched out. She's like, I have a thought and I need to say
I was just holding it and I was like, but then
I know I need to talk to you. I know we're talking about dirt bikes, but I have to say this. Yes, so we have not only was Cami the first KX100 on the channel, but she was the first one to wreck it.
And then my dirt bike got stolen.
It got stolen. She got another one to wreck that one.
Oh my God.
I actually had been on a dirt bike in years.
No.
Years and years and years.
The last time when we were trying to do a wheelie and then I fell off real bad and then I was like, fuck this. And then I sold it like 3 days later.
Yeah.
I've never been on one since.
Well, time to go back.
Ah, I'm scared.
Perfect.
I really do want this to be an earring. I'll have Chloe make it into an earring for me.
All right. You think you remember how to... Wait, I should probably turn the gas on.
Yep.
Else you're going to be kicking it for a while.
Joshua, do you remember we were dirt biking all those years ago, like what, 16 years ago? The whole Brapstar thing happened because I kept going, brap, brap, let's go brapping, let's go brap, brap, brap,
yeah.
brap, brap.
If you guys didn't know this, Cami Bay came up with Brapstar.
Well, we came up with it together, but it was to make fun of me because remember they called me Cam Star. And then I was like, Brapstar. And then when I would leave places, I would dip star. Like, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But
well, credit where credit's due, baby.
Okay, I have to do it now, don't I?
This? Yeah, it should start right up.
I believe it. I'm just scared. I got
Let me pull the choke on for you.
Oh, you didn't do the choke?
I forgot.
Oh, fuck me. You just wanted to watch me do it.
Yeah, me and everybody else. Hey, you. Hey. I saw that. Well, of course I saw it. I filmed it, didn't I? Just gonna take a quick break from our regular scheduled motorcycles and debauchery for a quick word from our sponsors. That sponsor being me, as in we, as in the royal we, as in Brapstar, myself, Cami Bay, Chloe Cox, Shay Lacey, Jason from Sugar Tree Farms and Sessions, and all of you. We only got 3 days left on our winter release. Why only 3 days? Because we want to get them out for Christmas. So if you want to make a pre-order, make it now. I'm gonna order almost no extras this time. So grab one now or forever hold your peace. The reason for that being, want to get them to you guys by Christmas, don't want anyone to be late. I know a lot of you guys are buying them for your friends that ride all sorts of weird bikes. That's why we have, of course, that's why we have the Boxer, baby, the Airhead, along with Moto Guzzi. And Ducati. BMW, Moto Guzzi, and Ducati, they just don't get cool t-shirts. So I wanted all these t-shirts to look like they came out of 1989 Sturgis if we lived in an alternate reality where it was Italian and German motorcycles there. But just because I love that alternate timeline where all the 1%ers and gangs rode Ducatis instead of Harleys doesn't mean I forgot about my HD boys. We've got the Big Twin and the Sportster available, and my personal favorite, Goldwing Uber Alles, the Demon Slayer. Long after every other motorcycle is rotting in the ground, the Goldwings will still prowl the earth. It has been foretold that the oldest Goldwing in the world will one day run on fuel made from the fossils of the newest motorcycle from any other brand. I appreciate all y'all's support. You help keep this channel independent and help keep me from having to talk about Raid Shadow Legends or Lunchley or like whoever's paying people to say crap is awesome these days. That link to brapstar.com is down below. That pre-order is going on for 3 more days only. Let's go ahead and put Chloe Cox and Candy Bay to work handling all your packages. All right, now back to butts. So put your foot on it. Now go from there hard. Whoa, baby. Let's go see if I can get it. Whoa, I didn't know it was gonna be that kind of party. We were filming a normal video for Instagram, and now it's a different video. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have everything I need, you know?
I don't care, Joshy. Get a suntan.
Okay, same thing, just plop down on that.
Did I throw dirt? Trying to throw dirt.
Well, now that Cammy the distraction is gone, I can work on my dirt bikes in peace. Let's see if this thing gives us a couple ring-a-dings. See if the fuel immediately comes leaking out. If that shutoff doesn't work on the float bowl. Oh, no leaking from the carb, that's a good sign. Oh, let's see what we got here. Hell yeah. Come on. That's what we like to hear. You didn't get me. I was just telling everybody that the distraction was gone.
I heard you fucking screaming from inside. I love you.
Love you too. Love you a lot. I can prove it. All right, back to dirt bikes. The KDX runs. Not that I thought it wouldn't. It's Kawasaki. Kawasaki dirt bikes are pretty freaking bulletproof. Or at least I've had great luck with them. But now that begs the question, what the heck am I gonna do with it? I don't really need a third dirt bike. And honestly, Miss Chloe Cox would love to get into riding dirt bikes. And even though this 220 is technically not really a race bike, it's not really a race motorcycle, it's still got a lot of balls. We're gonna do a head-to-head comparison of the KX100, the KDX 220, and the KTM 300 XCW in a little bit here so you can see how they go. And compared to the 300 XCW and the KX100, this thing is not very fast, but it's still a 220cc two-stroke. It still rips. Definitely not what Chloe should be starting on for her first motorcycle. And Cammy wants to get back into dirt bikes, but she wants to go 4-stroke, which I'm pretty disappointed in, by the way. But she's got enough other assets that I really appreciate about her that I think I'll find it in my heart to forgive her betrayal for going the route of 4-stroke. Stinky, stupid 4-strokes. No, 2 strokes. That's all you need. This is an awesome bike. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to do a build on it. I had such a good time building out my KTM, exactly how I wanted it, And I think like doing a more budget-friendly build with this to show you guys that, yeah, you can get into woods riding, you can get into dirt bikes for pretty damn cheap, and you can make yourself an incredibly capable machine out of a $1,000 dirt bike. And after that, who knows? Maybe we'll keep it as a spare for people who come down and stay with us. Spike's Corner, I'm looking at you. He keeps riding all those off-road rides, but we gotta put him in some Florida sugar sand out at Croom and see how he does. Or maybe we'll give it away for Forgotten Angels. I'm not really sure. What I do know is I like it. The KDX 220 looks like the kind of bike that the cool bad guy in a high school movie would ride in the late 80s or early 90s. This is like kind of motorcycles that they would ride up to school on. You'd be like, why is this 16-year-old somehow allowed to ride a street legal two-stroke motorcycle up to school? Now, I'm not sure if this one is street legal or not. I don't think it was originally a street legal model, but you can get KDX 220s, this exact same motorcycle with a tag. So I will probably end up putting a headlight and brake lights on this, and I can figure out how to get a tag for it. Don't you worry about that. So this will be street legal. My KTM is actually street legal as well. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be riding your two-strokes on the street. And if you've got a reason why I shouldn't, I'm not listening and I don't care. But before we do the 1v1v1, 6 strokes of fury, whoever heard of such a thing, 6 strokes, KDX 220 versus KX 100 versus KTM 300, we're gonna go on a ride with Shay Lisi. And I would ride my KTM 300, but the knobbies on it are pretty soft, and riding it on the pavement is a great way to absolutely roach those tires. Yeah, I'm not gonna take a KTM on me and Shay Lisi's ride, even though it is street legal. Like I said, I just don't want to ruin the tire. But what I am gonna take to lunch with me and Shay Lisi is the Kawasaki. The Goldwing can pull a boat. A dirt bike should be no problem at all. Part of the reason I want to do a build on the KDX 220 is I want to do a low-dough, inexpensive build that can be amazing in the woods, or you can even race in a hare scramble that is just as good as the KTM, although little KTM boys will always argue with you on that one. You guys know that I love showing that anybody can do stuff. If you have $1,000, you can participate in whatever motorcycle sport you like, or you can even get a boat and also a tow vehicle for your boat, or a tow vehicle for your dirt bike. The KTM I actually financed, and it is the most expensive motorcycle I've ever bought in my life. I don't regret it because I absolutely love that bike and it's brought me so much joy, but it took me a while to pay that thing off, and I was even paying double payments on it. It doesn't really exemplify the whole anybody can get into this sport and anybody can do this kind of attitude that I like to show you guys, because so many years myself, I thought like, oh, I can't have a dirt bike, I can't have a boat, I can't have anything because they're so freakishly expensive. How could I ever afford one? And then I found out like, yeah, actually you can get a badass dirt bike for $1,000, put $500 into it, which we'll do in a different video. It'll be an amazing bike that you can go racing on. Then I'd be like, oh, I have to have a nice ass truck or a truck at all to pull it with. Well, that's not true. We've got a trailer that I paid $150 for and a Goldwing that I paid $1,500 for, and that's as good a tow rig as you need. Well, at least I hope. I haven't pulled this with it yet, so the $150 trailer might let me down. The tires are looking pretty sus. We aren't going far, so fingers crossed. That ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I want to test it. I didn't even know you were coming. Now that I got a human selfie stick, I don't have to have this here. Way better. Did that thing yourself or what? Putting the KDX back there wasn't just because I want to show that you can do this for low dough. I also didn't want to risk my KTM, if I'm being completely honest. So far, so good. It looks like it's holding up just fine.
See every driver's head just turning into
As we always say, the most dangerous part about towing something with a Goldwing is other people just breaking their necks to look at it. I'll say compared to towing the boat with the Goldwing, I can barely tell that thing's back there. Now, what's the point of towing a dirt bike with a Goldwing? Well, there is one, and it's not just to show you that you don't have to have a fancy pickup truck, take your dirt bike to the woods and have a good time. And no, it's not just for the video either. If you're new to this channel, let me explain to you something that people who have been here for a long time are already achingly familiar with. I like bike. And I don't just like bike, I love bike. I think boats are super cool, four-wheel drive trucks, yeah, awesome. I even like a couple of sports cars. Although if I'm being honest, my favorite kind of cars are saloons. I like a grand touring car. But when it comes to propelling myself down the road, I like bike. That's why I want to tow my boat with the Goldwing. That's why I want to tow my dirt bike with the Goldwing, because I don't ever want to get off my motorcycle. I do own a truck, and every time I have to drive it, even though it is arguably a nice vehicle, I get pissed off. Now, there are some scenarios where driving a four-wheel vehicle can be super fun. If you're off-roading or racing or just hooning, doing burnouts, yeah, I'm down for that. But when it comes to everything else, and I love to hoon and do burnouts and donuts and everything on motorcycles too, but when it comes to traveling, when it comes to moving down these arteries of America, I want to do it on two wheels, and anything else just pisses me off. Now, I love my Goldwing. I love traveling long distances on my Goldwing. I've got this dream, not just of going to ride all sorts of different dirt bike parts, but what I really would love to do is to be able to travel on my Goldwing to the mountains. Now, this isn't even an off-road adventure. I could take all my camping gear, my Goldwing, because it'll fit it all my dirt bike gear, which will also fit on the Goldwing. Then I'd get a supermoto kit, because these dirt bikes are street legal, put some racy tires on them, change up the suspension, and just go camping and bomb the mountain roads while getting there on my Goldwing for a few days. I love that, and it's not just for the video, that's what I actually want to do. Now, the fact that it's way cheaper than a truck payment, which those things are out of control, that's a nice bonus, okay? I'm not gonna deny that, but it's not the reason why I'm doing it. The reason I'm doing it is because I like bike. Just so all the new people are aware of where I stand, we've had a huge influx of subscribers in the past month, so welcome to all the new weirdos. If the FBI asks, it's not a cult. You'll be getting your decoder ring in the mail shortly. And I know there's people here from all sorts of videos, from fishing videos, from us going out on the boat, from the four-wheel drive Cadillac we picked up, and some of the other car videos that I've done. Sorry to disappoint you if you're hoping for nothing but boats or nothing but cars. At the end of the day, I like anything that makes a loud noise, looks cool, and is fun to ride or drive, but I love motorcycles, and that's where you'll usually find me. There goes Shay Lisi. It's always fun to ride a motorcycle. You fix yourself. By the way, for all you new weirdos here, Shay Lisi back there also has a YouTube channel, so make sure you go and subscribe to her and tell her old shade tree surgeon sent you. She took a little hiatus, but she's back into making videos now, and I'm looking forward to getting back on every kind of two wheels there is with Shay Lisi. And of course, Cammy Bay, who you saw earlier, also has a YouTube channel, and Chloe Cox there on the back of this motorcycle, aka Chloe Colossal if you're underfoot on X, she also has a YouTube channel. Now, of course, you know, Chloe and Cammy have a extracurricular activities that we also film around here, but they have YouTube channels as well. And Chloe hasn't done much on her YouTube channel, but she's gonna start doing fitness stuff on there, because as much as she's impressed by this specimen of man here, this peak male performance that is me, 300 all-American pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal with a body that men fear and women love, she says I need to lose a couple pounds if I'm gonna stay healthy, so she's gonna start making me do push-ups and sit-ups and all that stuff in between, and we'll probably be documenting it on her YouTube channel. And when I send out the t-shirts, I see how many 3X, 4X, and 5X shirts I send out. I'm not the only one that could take a couple workout lessons from Chloe Cox. I released the cooter from the scooter. Unleash, not release. Unleash the cooter. I like that better. Did you say who's the most spoiled?
Yeah.
Who's the most spoiled girl here? It's me. You ever seen a smart slut before? They exist, I promise.
Exactly. Where are they?
Yeah, you guys know any?
Yeah. Please help me find.
We're just talking about hot meals here, and luckily for me, because I get very cranky if I don't get a hot meal, but Chloe said if it ever happens, she'll sit on it for me. That's not what happened to the flatbread. Well, I didn't see him make it, but, you know, who knows?
Maybe.
It used to be just regular bread.
They got hot girls in the kitchen.
Hot girls in the kitchen sitting on your food. That's how that sandwich got pressed, too. Freaking girls here all covered in chocolate. Let's get you home. The trailer survived. Well, we still got 10 miles to go home. It definitely needs a little bit of work. I'm gonna flip it over, re-weld a couple things. Definitely has a couple of concerns. but overall, I think it's gonna work out just fine.
Oh my god, that cookie was so good.
Time for the 1v1v1, Kawasaki's versus KTM. We're gonna start with the smallest and work our way up with the biggest, but just because this is the smallest does not mean it's not the most dangerous. It's definitely the most dangerous one out of the bunch, and probably the most dangerous motorcycle I own. Although this is technically Shaylisi's bike, so I guess can't really say own it. These are all completely cold starts after sitting overnight. Let's see how they do. First kick, baby. Most dangerous. It's because this motorcycle has the power to weight ratio of a freaking Hayabusa. The whole motorcycle weighs about 40 pounds. I mean, I don't know if it actually has the power to weight ratio. Dude, this thing will get you in trouble, man. Holy mackerel, dude. There, you run out of brakes and talent before this thing runs out of guts. Yeah, it probably makes somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 40 horsepower, weighs 140 pounds, and you know, I weigh 300 pounds. Now, this thing is used to carting around, oh, golly, dude. Yeah, talking about overshooting a turn. This thing is used to carting around a freaking 12-year-old that weighs about 85 pounds. Not my fat ass, and it still hauls ass with me on it. I gotta really freaking weight this front end, dude. These tires are a little too skinny for my big ass. That's enough of that. This motorcycle will get you hurt faster than any other motorcycle I own. Oh, yeah. It's no joke, baby. This is a straight up brutal machine. You believe they give this thing to kids? Damn, dude. Oh, okay. All right, buddy. Let's go ahead and park this thing. Hard to imagine that a 220cc dirt bike that makes more horsepower than that one will be calmer, but I promise you the KDX 220, while still makes a lot of power and hits really hard, it's a pussycat compared to the 100. All right, boys, we're gonna have another one kicker. 2 priming kicks, that's what those are. That's when we start counting. 1 kick, baby. And when I say the KDX is tame compared to the KX100, I mean it's tamer. I think it'll shock a lot of people because it looks just like a KLX 250 or a KLX 300, but it ain't. Of course, the big advantage is just lugging it out of the corners. The amount of torque this thing makes compared to the KX is astounding. The KX, dude, it just wants you to wail on it. You could leave this thing in second gear, no problem, man. Once you're out of first, unless you're climbing something, you almost don't got to put it back in there. I'm going to take it kind of easy in the corners on this one. I have no idea what the state of the suspension is, and I'm very aware of the state of the brakes. Can handles tight though, freaking shifts great. This bike is amazing, man. Now, it's missing half its knobbies, so I'm probably not getting the power down like I should. But it makes makes just astounding torque, dude. I don't want to beat on this one too hard because I'm liable to get a little too big for my britches. So the common misconception about two-strokes is that they make all their power up top, and while this does have a top-end hit, its low-end torque, God, dude, it's like a tractor, man. These larger CC two-strokes are just unstallable, dude. They can go so low where any other 250 or 450 would have flamed out a long time ago. Of course, you got no engine braking, but if you ride two-strokes all the time, you don't even think about it. Yeah, it's still got plenty of power, dude. Even with a bald-ass rear tire, man, it'll pull the front end up without a problem. Going to third gear. This is where these things really shine. So in third gear, it's not going to be quite as torquey as the 300. That is the king of ding. But even starting from third gear, freaking third gear, baby, it's still getting you out of shape. All right. KDX 220, man. Hard to imagine a better, cheap way to get into woods racing or just general woods riding, play riding, enduro riding. Oh man, like I said, you can even get these with a plate. Bring back two-stroke dual sports, baby. Oh, I can feel this thing slowing down. Those brakes are definitely dragging. Time for Mr. Joe Diffie himself. As the old saying goes, there's no replacement for displacement. Gonna get another first kicker. All right, 2 prime kicks. All 3, first kick, baby. Now, even though this one makes by far the most horsepower, I bet when we go back and look over the footage, it's gonna seem like the slowest. It's because everyone expects two-strokes to just be on the pipe, just bouncing off the rev limiter, especially if you're not familiar with two-strokes. Well, sorry, if you're not familiar with bigger inch two-strokes, and yeah, 300 is big for a two-stroke. I know that Makos and KX500s and CR500s exist, but 300 cc's is still a big two-stroke. The thing about two-strokes, especially compared to 4-strokes, even a 450, is there's just no comparison for torque. So you do not have to bounce it off the rev limiter. That's just not what the bike certainly can do that. I was about to say it's not designed for that. It's certainly more than capable of doing that, but if you're doing this kind of riding, you're not on a motocross track, you just don't have to. You never have to get it up there, man. You just freaking point and shoot. The engine is very happy lugging, being lazy, operating at very low RPM. Whew, yeah, as I start to run out of brakes there. As I said, it's not gonna seem like it's faster than everything else, but I gotta watch myself because after getting off those 2 bikes, all of a sudden I'm on a little circle track here and I'm running out of brakes before I get to the end of it. And this thing has way better brakes than the KX100 and the KDX. As I was saying, just because it's not sounding like a two-stroke doesn't mean it can't. Just even from here to that fence, I don't even barely have room. Cool, yeah, I barely have room to get it into the power band, dude. Once again, a bike that you do not have to take out of third gear. I just love this bike, dude. It's so expensive compared to the KDX. I think this bike was like almost $8,000 brand new, and like an idiot, I bought it brand new. I bought this bike in 2015, and I know a lot more now than I knew back then about bikes and about, you know, how I could rebuild a dirt bike and that I didn't have to buy a new one. One that I freaking financed. You could probably pick up a KTM 300 for one like this, like $3 grand. Don't expect the starters to work. Mine worked for all of about 6 months before it gave up the ghost. But you don't need an electric start. Woo! Ooh, baby. Yeah, you don't need an e-start with one of these things, dude. Unless you're doing really hard enduro on freaking rocks and stuff like that, it'd be nice, but you just don't, man. They kick so easy. Whew, it does that pretty easy, too. The KDX, it's hard for me to say, man. It's got to be the better value compared to this, just because KTMs are just so freakishly expensive, man. So I need to be standing up. So help me take these turns better. Sitting down, you can't change your seating position as fast. So you can set yourself up, come in a lot hotter into the turn if you're standing up on the bike. I'm just wanting to do wheelies and shit like that, so I'm just hooning, man. And I don't need to be trying to go fast anyway without all my gear on. I normally don't listen to the gear Nazis, except when it comes to dirt bikes. At that point, you're racing, baby. And racing is dangerous, even if you're only racing yourself. But the fact that it's dangerous is what we love, baby. That's what we love about it. What a freaking awesome bike. I can't believe I let this thing sit for so freaking long, man. Not because I don't love riding it, obviously I do. It's a little more complex and nuanced than that. More about my responsibilities, the things I have to do. Not even the things I'm upset about doing, just the things I have to do. Well, I'm starting to take some time for myself. There are a lot of people that rely on me. There's a lot of things I need to do. A lot of people counting on me to come through and do what I do. I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about a lot of other aspects of my life that I don't always talk about on here. But at the end of the day, if I can't make myself happy, I'm not going to do a very good job showing up for anybody else, am I? So how about a little more masturbatory behavior? How about a little more self-gratification? How about a little more dirt? I haven't ridden in a while, dude. I already just that little bit on these few bikes. I already feel like a little bit of arm pump. That is pathetic. Just want to never let that happen again, dude. Never let dirt bikes go out of my life. It's a surefire recipe to get fat and sad. If there is a better cure to being fat and sad than dirt bikes, I've never seen it, and I'm not that interested in it. This is the one I like. Feels pretty dang good to get all of them running again. Now, I just gotta take them out to the woods, but it's something that I'm really looking forward to doing, and I'm tired of denying myself that pleasure. So keep your eyes peeled. If you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe. Not every single video is me dicking around with dirt bikes in the garage for 45 minutes or an hour, however long this video ends up being. We do all sorts of different stuff on this channel. We've got a huge influx of new people here. I can't tell you what I actually do because it's different every single episode. We're all over the place. Don't know what to tell you. That's not changing, but it is changing because it's always changing. It's never the same. I appreciate everyone's support, both from everybody who's new and hits subscribe and likes the videos and leaves comments, and from all you guys who've been here for the past 15 years. We've been on this channel making videos since 2006. Thousands of videos later, we're still pretty much unknown. But I think we have a pretty good time, and I love all you guys out there. We have an amazing time. This is not like most YouTubers where you go like, oh, this is this weird parasocial relationship where you don't actually know the person and you feel like you're friends with them. We have 2 campouts a year where we all get to hang out. We have multiple events all over the country where we ride motorcycles together and meet people and drink beers and have a good time. And I don't know, man. Feels pretty good. YouTube has given me a lot. And the best thing it's given me is a whole bunch of friends, some of whom I've met, some of whom I have yet to meet. Till next time, y'all, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree? Army. Shade Tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.